Hello viewers, my name is Portia and thank you so much for joining me on the conversation. Okay, now tell me, when did you Hello viewers, thank you so much for joining me in the conversation. Today we will be talking about one of the most powerful states in Africa today. Joining me is Nana Baffour Osei Brentuo the Sixth from Marehene of Kumasi. Nana, welcome to the conversation.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Nana, so let's talk about Ashanti Nation. What do we mean when we say Ashanti?
Well, Asante Nation is a very old state. In African terms, the Asante people came together in the late 17th century, specifically around 1690s, when the founder of the Asante Nation, King Osei Brentuo the first, founded Asante through his spiritual director, Baffour. In those days, Asante was a vassal state serving the Portia Kingdom, and together with other states in the area were supposed to virtually be subservient to the Portia Kingdom. And over time, the Asantes grouped together, and about 5 states came together: Mampong, Nsuta, the Adanse. They all came together and formed a union, just to be able to fight the Portia king. And it was this formation, which in Asante terms we talk about as Isa Enti, that is because of war. They grew together to fight the kingdom of Portia. And fortunately they were victorious, and thereafter Asante was formed. By 1702, Asante was well grounded. All the states that were under Portia then migrated to present-day Asante, to be part of the new kingdom under the leadership of King Osei Brentuo the First. For a period of from 1702 to 1720, thereabouts, 1730, Osei Brentuo ruled Asante. And those days it was survival of the fittest, and a lot of wars were fought, and they had to consolidate the kingdom. But the king of Portia was a very powerful king. For that reason, when the kingdom fell, all the states under the Portia king eventually became part of Asante.
How many states would you say there were?
Well, in that era, they, from the coast down to the forest belt, they all served the Portia king. And most of the people who became Asante, the Mampong state, the Nsuta state, the Kokofu state, the Kwamai state, they were all under the Portia king. So these came together to form the Union of Asante, and then, put their forces together and fought Portia and defeated them in the Battle of Eyasi, around the period that we are discussing. So after that, Asante now became the new power all the chiefs served the Asante king.
Why is the golden stool the soul of Asantes?
Yes, as I just mentioned, the Asantes had to come together to go and wage war. And at the time, they were independent states. So through the leadership, the spiritual leadership of Fanoche, they conjured what Asantes believe strongly, and I believe, the golden stool from the heavens, and said all the kings or the chiefs at the time from the various states were together, and on the lap of which the golden stool will fall, that person will become the leader of the nation. And those days there were black stools for most of the kings, and he had to bring all of them, all the black stools in the state. And our stools are ancestral stools, stools that signify the soul of our ancestors in pre-Asante era. Brought all of them together, bent them, conjured, and then now, let's use the word prayed, that the golden stool will come from heaven. Whoever fell, the lap on which the golden stool fell at the time was to become the leader of the new Asante nation. So it has some spiritual connotations, the process by which, it was conjured from heavens and then it fell on the laps. We know it came from the omnipotent God. So it came, and then it came to serve as a symbol of unity amongst the Asantes. And then the power inherent in it was such that all the spiritual, ancestral, symbols were represented in the golden stool.
And this happened physically?
It happened physically. It fell on the lap of Osei Tutu. Then the chief or king of Kwamai. So it fell on him, and then he became the Asante king.
As it signifies that, where is it?
The golden stool is still in the possession of the current Asante king. It is because of the golden stools, the history behind it, that the Asante king serves as the king of all the chiefs of Asante. Presently, there are about 60, a little over 60 chiefs who are Amahene provincial chiefs who form the Asante Kingdom. The Council of Asante Chiefs is made up of almost 60 chiefs, and all of them take their leadership from the occupant of the golden stool, who is the Asante. So from history, Osei Tutu the first was the first person on whose lap the golden stool fell, and after that it was inherited by his nephew Opohuari, and it has been going on and on up to the current occupant, the 16th occupant of the golden stool, Otumfuo Osei Tutu the second.
Before we go on a break, I want you to share with us the importance, some or one of the significant importance of Asante culture. When you talk about Asante culture itself, one significant importance.
The significance of the culture, we have various elements of Asante culture. We believe in our, what do you call it, the cultural, the kinship of our people. Royalty in Asante is celebrated very well. I mean, we believe that people are chosen. Just like in biblical times, people were chosen to lead. Joseph, Moses, all of them led their people. People also have, from ancient times, leaders. They were warriors that led, in times of war. And we believe their spirits still hang around the whole way around. And it's part of the Asante culture to revere these people. The significance, it is not all the time that we go to war. We have ceremonies that also exhibit Asante, what Asante has to show. And Asante, has a lot of gold. God has been good to us it is a kingdom of gold. And gold, virtually the substructure of Asante, any part of Asante, there's an element of gold. And we have a way of showing this gold off. I mean, gold, 24 karat gold. I'm sure when you see it, you know, Nanam always, you know, are ready to show. We also have some cultural artifacts. We have cultural elements like our clothing. Our clothing, the kente that I see within your, you know, the designs, Jinyame, and the rest.
Talk about that.
So
talk about that. Let's take a quick break real quick. If you are just joining me, right here with me is Nana Baffour Osei Brentuo the Sixth from Marian Hennig of Kumasi. We'll be right back with more of the conversation. Thank you for watching the conversation. We are talking about the Asante Kingdom. And so now let's talk about my generation. The Ashanti diaspora here is getting bigger and bigger in UK, in America, all abroad. Now, what is the Ashanti culture doing about my generation or the new generations that are being born here that have no clue or that are missing out on the culture of the Ashantis?
yes, first and foremost, I think the most significant deviation from, you know, I call it a generation that lost the baton. You see, our forefathers have handed over to us, and it was for us to stay in Ghana and continue. But most of our people traveled outside, you know, for various reasons. And when they came, it was expected that they came back. But then they realized that life here was quite, you know, okay. And they have their families here and they have children. I think the first thing is to educate the fathers and the mothers of your generation, because if they know, because they left for a very long time, they came with, you know, wide gaps in their history, in their culture, what have you. And then they also have the added problem of assimilation, that they had to, you know, virtually become a part of the new society that they have come. It took them time to learn, and in so doing, you know, virtually lost touch. So I strongly believe that if there are any lessons, it goes to the parents. And then once the parents are well educated, then it can be easy to go. One of the problems, I mean, you talk about culture, you cannot leave out the language. You see, people are born here, and they are born in hospitals where the language spoken is English. And, you know, by the time they come out, they've not even heard anything, you know, in the Asante language. So that they are going through life, you know, their formative years without any knowledge of the language. Once you have the language, and one of our rich cultural attributes is the Asante language. It's very rich. So studded with proverbs that can tell you see a lot of wit in the language. And these children, first of all, lose it. And they lose, or they don't even get access to it. They go to school and they are on this.
Now, if the parents are not being educated on that, and as a younger child here, what are the different ways that you can get in touch with the old culture?
Yes, fortunately, the world has become a global village. And for now, the internet is the in thing.
Yeah.
That even the problem that I believe the children are facing here, we experience it even back home. The children also go to schools where they learn English. They are also detached from the culture. They are not in the villages, they are in the big cities, and most of them know next to nothing about our culture. One way that I believe we can is to get them involved in all the cultural activities that take place. Like the Asante Day, that is a day that these children should have a part to play. Cooking, food, and the different types are all parts of our culture. You come here and you have microwave. Now everything is microwave. We had to go and fetch for firewood before we cooked our food.
We call it the microwave generation.
Yeah, microwave generation.
So speaking of the Asante Day, what is your view on it, or any message? What do you?
It is a very, very important event that I believe has to be sustained. And like you posed, it is an event that we don't even have to concentrate on the adults, but rather get the young generation to be a part of. It is an event that we would have to prepare, a whole year for, and the children would have to participate. They would have to come in, and then we teach them about Asante stories, Anansi stories. We teach them about Asante games, the indoor games, the Owari, and the other games that Asante Ampe and all those things that they get involved. There should be that, Asante Day will be the day that people will come and show what they have learned over the year. And as I said, the concentration shouldn't be only on the kings. The kings will come, the chiefs will come and exhibit what they have for other people in New York or in America to witness. But we need the children to be a part of it, for them to also play a part. Yes, also, yes.
Brevity is the soul of wit. Asante Kingdom. Thank you so much for joining me in the conversation. To make anything good and successful, you must make it short. We will see you next time. And thank you so much, Nana Baffour Osei Brentuo the 6th. It was a pleasure talking to you today.
Nice talking to you.
Thank
Beautiful
you.
woman.
Thank you. We'll see you next time on the conversation.